Old internet protocols still handle your keys and passwords, and attackers treat them like unlocked doors. Think of your network as a house and these old protocols as a junk drawer. SMTP routes email, FTP moves files, Telnet opens a terminal. All useful, all familiar. They were built when the internet felt friendly, not hostile. Today, those same drawers leak credentials, files, and admin sessions. We're going to open that drawer, inventory what's inside, and close the dangerous doors one by one, starting with a simple example. SMTP moves email between mail servers on port 25, sometimes submission on 587 or 465. Originally, it sent messages in the clear. StartTLS later added an upgrade to encryption, but many servers treat it as optional. That opportunistic approach lets attackers downgrade or read messages at weak links. SPF, DKIM, and DMARC help validate senders, yet they don't encrypt content. So email can be intercepted and altered, and that's a problem you need to fix next. FTP moves files using port 21 for control and random high ports for data. It sends usernames, passwords, directory listings, and file contents as plain text. Active and passive modes complicate firewalls and often reveal internal paths. Anonymous FTP servers still expose directories by mistake. On any shared Wi-Fi or compromised router, a packet capture hands attackers your files and credentials. That makes FTP a poor fit for the modern internet, but there are replacements. Telnet offers a text terminal on port 23 and sends every keystroke unencrypted. Many IoT devices ship with Telnet enabled and default passwords. Mirai-style botnets exploited that exact setup to build massive attack armies. Packet captures reveal usernames and commands in plain sight. An attacker who grabs Telnet credentials can pivot, plant malware, and control devices. The fix is straightforward, but migrations can be messy, so we'll show a safe path forward. These three are just the tip of the iceberg. POP3 and IMAP without TLS, SNMP v1, v2c, TFTP, RLogin, SMB v1 and LDAP without signing still lurk in factories, cloud images, and old build pipelines. You'll find them in DVRs, printers, routers, and third-party appliances. If you've ever said, "We'll replace that later," it's probably still running. Next, we'll look at how attackers find these services at internet scale, and that's disturbingly easy. Attackers scan the internet constantly. Tools and search engines index exposed ports and services. Shodan and mass scanners reveal FTP, Telnet, and SMTP endpoints in minutes. Default credentials and quick brute force take seconds. On local networks, passive sniffing steals cleartext credentials. Downgrade attacks strip StartTLS flags. Misconfigured anonymous uploads become malware drop sites. This is not theoretical, it's routine. To understand the damage, let's walk through a short attack story next. Imagine a contractor's CCTV DVR with Telnet exposed and default admin. An attacker logs in, drops a backdoor, and harvests credentials. They reuse those creds on an FTP server that stores build artifacts, then swap a library to insert malware. A few days later, ransomware detonates across the network. This chain starts with one clear text service. Now we switch to solutions, starting with the simplest swap that buys you a lot of safety. Replace Telnet with SSH. SSH creates an encrypted tunnel, verifies server identity, and protects integrity. Enforce SSH v2, modern ciphers and MACs. Disable password authentication where possible, and require key-based login with passphrases plus agent forwarding. Use bastion hosts or privileged access gateways for admin sessions. Roll out gradually, disable Telnet after testing, and migrate automation scripts to SSH clients. Stay tuned. FTP replacements deserve a careful comparison. FTP needs to go. Pick SFTP, FTPS, or HTTPS-based transfers depending on use cases. SFTP runs over SSH on port 22, so it's firewall-friendly and works well for automation. FTPS uses TLS, but may require extra data ports and tricky firewall rules. For partner exchanges, prefer HTTPS with pre-signed URLs or manage file transfer portals. Audit access, rotate keys, and avoid anonymous writes. Which one fits your partners and automation? We'll help you choose next. Make SMTP safer, but know its limits. Enforce TLS in transit using MTA-STS or DANE to avoid opportunistic downgrades. Publish SPF records, sign outbound mail with DKIM, and apply DMARC with a quarantine or reject policy to reduce spoofing. For confidentiality, use end-to-end encryption like PGP or SMIME, or move sensitive workflows to secure portals. Finally, separate submission ports 587, 465 with strict authentication and rate limits, and then monitor TLS coverage closely. Start your migration with Discovery. Use EDR, vulnerability scanners, and network scans to inventory services and ports. Look for 21, 23, 25, 110, 143, 389, 445, and their variants. Check cloud security groups, firewall rules, containers, and OT segments. Document owners, business purpose, and dependencies. This map tells you what to fix first: internet-exposed services. Next, we triage by blast radius and assign remediation priorities. Triage by blast radius. Internet-exposed services get top priority, then cross-segment gateways, then high-privilege internal systems. Quick wins: block legacy ports at the edge, disable unused services, and enforce TLS only where possible. Replace Telnet and FTP in prioritized batches for sticky legacy devices. Isolate them behind VPNs or zero-trust access and restrict to specific IPs. These steps reduce exposure fast, but you still need better authentication and monitoring. Coming up next, isolate what you can't retire yet. Put legacy boxes behind bastion hosts, VPNs, or a zero-trust gateway. Segment networks with ACLs and firewalls. Restrict access to service-specific IP ranges and log everything. Use jump servers for admin access and require MFA on all remote paths. Isolation buys time to plan migrations and prevents casual lateral movement. But isolation isn't a final answer. You still need to harden authentication and rotate secrets. Harden authentication aggressively. Remove default credentials, enforce strong passwords, and prefer key-based access or short-lived tokens. Centralize accounts with least privilege and session monitoring. Use hardware or platform keys and require MFA for admin roles. Rotate certificates and keys on a schedule and automate secret distribution where possible. These changes stop credential reuse and brute force attacks. After that, you must watch for signs of abuse, which means monitoring and alerts. Monitor and alert like a detective. Log connection attempts, failed authentications, and protocol downgrades. Track TLS encryption rates for email and file transfers. Use alerts for cleartext protocol traffic and sudden anonymous uploads. Correlate events with endpoint telemetry and threat intel like CISA's KEV catalog. Regularly audit exceptions and trend metrics toward higher encryption percentages. With steady monitoring, you catch attackers early. And that supports a firm decommission timeline. Set a decommission date and assign an owner. Put legacy services on a roadmap with deadlines and fallbacks. Communicate changes to stakeholders with simple how-tos and training. Track exceptions in a risk register and require regular reviews. Small, scheduled projects beat indefinite will-do-it-later promises. People will resist change. Next, we'll tackle common myths that keep legacy protocols alive, despite the risks. Myth: we turned on TLS so email is safe. Reality: opportunistic TLS can be stripped unless you enforce MTA-STS or DANE. Myth: SFTP and FTPS are the same. Reality: different transports, firewall needs, and management trade-offs. Myth: internal Telnet is fine. Reality: internal networks get compromised. Myth: VPN makes everything safe. Reality: compromised endpoints still expose cleartext sessions. We'll compare two real file transfer scenarios to illustrate these points next. Scenario A: a partner uses legacy FTPS. Firewall rules explode, and transfers fail during maintenance. Scenario B: a partner uses HTTPS pre-signed URLs, permissions are limited, and files arrive without opening inbound ports. Scenario A needs heavy firewall work. Scenario B fits modern controls and audits easily. Similarly, enforcing MTA-STS prevents downgrades, while end-to-end encryption protects content. Quick recap coming up. And then a checklist you can run this quarter. Mid-video recap: legacy protocols leak credentials and data. Attackers scan, brute force, and downgrade connections. Replace Telnet with SSH. FTP with SFTP, FTPS, or HTTPS, and enforce TLS plus SPF DKIM DMARC for email. Inventory, triage by blast radius, isolate sticky systems, harden authentication, monitor, and set decommission dates. Ready for a final checklist of signals that show you're winning, and a short game plan you can start this quarter. What good looks like. No clear text protocols exposed to the internet. SSH instead of Telnet. FTP gone or limited to SFTP HTTPS. SMTP enforcing TLS and DMARC. And firewall rules that block legacy ports by default. Logs show near 100% encrypted email to major domains, and exceptions have owners and deadlines. Achieve these signals, and you drastically shrink attack surface and compliance risk. Ready to start this quarter with 3 practical first steps? If this helped, like and subscribe for practical security playbooks, and comment with one legacy service you'll inventory this week so we can help prioritize it.